So welcome back to another rebuild here on NBA 2K24 Next Gen. In today's video, we have an absolute blockbuster as Paul George has agreed to a 4-year, $212 million contract with the Philadelphia 76ers. Now, this news broke at about 3:30 a.m. here on the East Coast. I was fast asleep and I woke myself up to a Woj bomb that many people were expecting after it seemed evidently clear that Paul George and the Los Angeles Clippers were not going to be able to agree on a contract extension. It looked like the 76ers were willing to give that 4th year as the Clippers were not. PG has a new home, and he has a new trio. It's him, Embiid, and Tyrese Maxey, and this isn't quite the power shift we were looking for in terms of west to east, but this certainly gives another team a serious threat in the East. We'll talk more about this fit and how I think the 76ers are going to look heading into the 2024-2025 season in just a second. But of course, as always, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. You know, this is one of those times that it doesn't really feel like there's going to be many major pieces moving in free agency. And that's just really because that's not really how it works anymore, right? It seems like sign and trade, kind of the new way to go about it. If not, you know, a player will sign, play a year, then get traded, all that fun stuff. So yeah. It feels like PG may be the last of a dying breed in terms of star players just signing away with teams in free agency, but he did it. He did it at 3:30 in the morning here on the East Coast. It is now Monday morning at about 7:30 a.m. Let's get into the rebuild. A couple things to go over before we get into this offseason. As you can already see, we are not up to free agency yet, and yet Paul George is already on this team. We're not going to go over the roster yet because it has all the old players on it who are free agents, technically, who are not going to be brought back. Second of all, this is a shared file. It's a shared scenario, whatever you want to call it. It is not going to be 100% accurate. It is basically the way these always go as we kind of continue to go day by day in free agency, in trades, and all those fun things. I promise this was the most accurate one I could find, but this is a pretty damn good roster in terms of updates with signings and trades and free agents, all that fun stuff. So just want to put that out there. I know things are going to be wrong. I fully understand that. Let's get into it. Qualifying. Tyrese Maxey, yes. Ricky Council IV, probably will offer him one. And then Terquavion Smith, probably not. So what I am going to do right now as we enter a free agency class, as you can see, pretty much everybody here outside of, you know, Pascal Siakam, Malik Monk, these guys are actually free agents. So that is relatively solid. Obviously, Paul George is not here. He's already on the 76ers team. But my goal right now is to obviously wait a little bit until I can re-sign Tyrese Maxey. He is going to get, you know, the max rookie extension this offseason. And then I think there's really not many other major moves. I believe Batum's already said he's going to move on. Rocco doesn't seem likely to come back. Buddy Hield, probably not. I mean, he kind of fell out of the rotation at times. So I guess let's talk about this team that is here, and it's not exactly extremely deep right now. So it's, you know, 6 guys right now, and that's just the way it is. Obviously, Tyrese Maxey will be back. Jared McCain, what was he, 16th overall out of Duke. I'm excited to see how he develops. I think he is really good, and I think he will be really good for a long time. Like this pickup and this draft pick by the 76ers quite a bit. Obviously, Paul George, I'm going to have to edit his contract because it says 5 for 212. It's actually 4 for 212. Not going to let me give him 4 for 212, but I will make sure it's, you know, accurate in terms of a max. Kelly Oubre Jr. re-upped on a 2-year, $16 million deal. The second year is a player option. I thought he was fantastic for them last year. I believe he was on a minimum, and he's somebody that I thought they would want to bring back, and then somebody I'm happy they did bring back. Dembana was a second-round pick. I'm not really sure what we're going to do with him here today, but he is only 20 years old, so maybe there's a little room for growth there. The power forward spot's certainly something we're going to have to figure out. And then obviously Joel Embiid, you know, the MVP from 2 years ago, franchise superstar. He is certainly somebody we're building around here today. And then Paul Reed's a tricky one because many people are projecting, because the second year of Paul Reed's 2-year deal was not guaranteed, that Paul Reed will just be released by the Philadelphia 76ers, which certainly feels like a possibility. Of course, here today we're playing 2K. It's not exactly the most realistic thing out there, so all things considered, he's a pretty solid backup center. I may end up keeping him. So, yes, I'm also aware Eric Gordon's on with this team. I will do my best to go out and find Eric Gordon. So, my, you know, priority number 1 right now is making sure Tyrese Maxey doesn't go anywhere. We're obviously going to max out Maxey. I guess that's the way you want to word it. It's exactly what we're going to do, but I'd like to see who else we can get, because you guys know Keith Smith on Twitter. Follow him, by the way. He's like an NBA cap wizard. He projects even after the George and the Gordon and the all that fun stuff, the 76ers are going to have about $9 million in cap space. So there's certainly a little bit of flexibility there in terms of the direction they go with their moves. I'm not exactly sure what our first move is going to be, but I'll obviously show you guys when we find it. After the departure of Tobias Harris, the power forward spot is relatively weak on this roster right now, and not having a ton of flexibility in terms of our spending power, I think Haywood Highsmith and Caleb Martin would be fantastic additions. Yes, I understand it's hilarious signing both the power forwards away from the Miami Heat, but I really do think they'd both be really good fits here. Now, real life, they're probably both going to get paid a little bit more. I probably don't think the 76ers are going to be on their radar, but I think they'd be really good pickups here in 2K. So, we're still waiting on Tyrese Maxey. Oh, well, we're not getting Highsmith. We're getting Martin anyways. I'm going to continue to wait on Maxey until he gets, a real contract offer. But right now, I'm just going to continue to kind of sign mid-level guys. Everybody here is gone. Kyle Lowry, goodbye. Tobias Harris, holy hell, goodbye. Buddy Hield, it feels like it's inevitable he's going to go somewhere, get a little bit more money. Seems logical. I think Melton could be an idea. The 76ers probably wouldn't mind bringing back, but honestly, if we have a 74 overall Ricky Council IV, probably fine by me. So that's it's just where we're at right now. It's been a long time coming for the 76ers in terms of, adding that third star. It never really worked out as well as they hoped it would with James Harden, and then last season was just kind of a mitigated disaster. So I credit them for being patient, just kind of waiting till the right time, and good for them, honestly. We're still waiting on Maxey. Nobody wants to offer him a max contract, which again is kind of fine by me. But right now, we do have to figure some things out in terms of just the depth on this team because, it's solid. There's still some work to be done, though. I don't know if Jared McCain's going to start here in year one. I'm just going to pay Tyrese Maxey now. Just contract, come on. Tyrese, thank you. All right, that was probably a little bit of an underpay, but we obviously need, kind of our second best player, third, whatever the hell you want to call him right now. And then we got to figure out a little bit of depth with this team in terms of the backup guards and then in terms of the backup power forward. So, a guy like Patrick Beverley could bring him back. I think Chris Dunn would actually be somebody who excites me. Only 30 years old, obviously a defensive specialist. Add a little bit more defense in that backcourt. I like that addition a lot. We will wait on Ricky Council. Honestly, I'm going to bring him in here. We're going to go super young at the shooting guard spot, and fuck it, we'll let Jared McCain start. All right, the final thing we're going to look for is a backup power forward. Game is still letting me bring back Tobias Harris, even though his rights are renounced. I'm not going to do that. This is not a realistic rebuild, but that just feels a little too far-fetched. Batum, Rocco, kind of like Kenrich Williams actually wouldn't be too bad. Still under 30 years old, 74 overall. We'll give him a 2-year deal, and it's only the minimum we can offer. So he's going to go ahead and accept that. We're going to have our 10 guys here now moving forward. McCain's going to start. I don't know if that's actually going to be the case, but this team's in a pretty good spot, all things considered. So I'll wait on Ricky Council, and I'll see you guys at the start of year one. Year one for us here in Philadelphia. It is shaping up to a very, very interesting season. This team is relatively top-heavy, I would say, in terms of the star talent. We're not very well spread out in terms of our bench unit, but that is certainly something we're going to focus on throughout the 3 years of this rebuild. So here's how it's going to look. Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, no surprise there in our backcourt. Maybe a bit undersized at 6'2" and 6'3", but I'm not terribly worried about it. I know how talented Maxey is. I know how talented I believe McCain is going to be. I'll live with it. Obviously got Paul George here at our starting small forward spot. He went down a couple overalls. That is not the end of the world. That's just 2K regression on their BS. Caleb Martin, we signed away from the Miami Heat in free agency. He's our starting power forward. And Joel Embiid, our MVP candidate center. Hopefully going to be leading us to the promised land. So that's the 1 through 5. Bench unit is interesting. Kelly Oubre Jr. will be my 6th man here. You got Paul Reed, who again, probably not actually going to be with the 76ers next year, but I'm not going to attempt to predict the future. I forgot about Andre Drummond. Andre Drummond's here too. Well, you know what? Sue me. Oh shit, there goes my controller. I forgot about Andre Drummond. That's my fault. Pretend Paul Reed's Andre Drummond. We signed Chris Dunn here in free agency. Eric Gordon is here. I brought him in. I know he technically signed with this team. And then we signed Kenrich Williams as well. Funny enough, Patrick Beverley actually, ended up back here somehow. I know the 76ers traded him to the Milwaukee Bucks at the deadline last year. He was just like one of the minimum players that 2K automatically signed. So he's not in the rotation. It is what it is. So that's the team. I mean, again, it's certainly not the most talented team in the East. They're very, very top heavy, but I like the chances. I think this team can be competitive. So I'll see you guys at the end of year number 1. 56-26. That is the record here at the end of year 1. And all things considered, that is a fantastic first out of 3 years of this rebuild. Luka Doncic, a damn near 39-point triple-double. Yep. Okay. Good Lord. Was not expecting that. Jared McCain wins Rookie of the Year for us. He was about 12.5 points, 2.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists, about 1.5 steals. Only about 40% from the field, 31% from 3. We'd certainly like those splits to go up a little bit, but again, for the role he was in, for the expectations he has, Beautiful first season. Anthony Simons, your sixth man of the year. Not really sure why he's not starting. Wemby is your depoy. Czar Thompson, most improved. Luka also wins clutch player of the year. And then Jason Kidd, head coach of the defending Western Conference champion Dallas Mavericks, is your coach of the year. All right, we're the one seed here. We are tied with the New York Knicks. We did have the tiebreaker. Wow, look at the Celtics, defending champs, not even making the playoffs. Gotta love 2K. And then here's a look at the West. Obviously, it is just a goddamn war zone over there. So here are the numbers on the year. Joel Embiid, about 24 points, 15 rebounds, 3.5 assists. He was fantastic for us. Tyrese Maxey, Paul George, shade under 20 a game, but he did a lot of other things. Well, something in my fucking eye right now. Kelly Oubre Jr., Jared McCain, Caleb Martin, Reed Dunn, Gordon Williams. Again, my apologies about forgetting Andre Drummond. That's mind slip. My bad. All right. Round one of the playoffs. This is a 76ers team that has not been out of the second round in the, Joel Embiid, whatever you want to call it, era, and that's something they'd obviously like to change. Here's a look at the Hornets. It is LaMelo Ball, Alec Burks. Now they're starting shooting guard. You got Brandon Miller, Miles Bridges was brought back, Mark Williams, Nick Richards, Dario Saric. So I'm not really sure how the Hornets are here. Okay, and they're not winning games against us, are they? Come on, 2K. But good for them. We lost the first one. We then go on to win 4 straight. Now comes a real opponent here in the Milwaukee Bucks. This is a team that is certainly in an offseason, I don't want to say predicament, but I think they need to make some sort of move. At the time of this recording, they have yet to do so. I see Brook Lopez's name has come up a bit. Bobby Portis Jr.'s name has come up a bit. But I think this is a team that certainly needs a little bit of an upgrade somewhere. So here goes nothing in the second round. Quick 3-0 lead, and we handle the Bucks easier than we handle the Hornets? Okay. And it is us and the New York Knicks here in the Eastern Conference Finals. The Knicks have had a fantastic offseason. As you can see, it is obviously not updated with Mikal Bridges. So, yep, I thought this roster was very, very good. Apparently not, so my apologies once again. But, yeah, that's just how these things go sometimes. We are up 2-1 against New York. We go up 3-1. We win in 5. We are handling, oh my God, Anthony Edwards. Okay. Well, not only are we out of the second round, but we are now in the NBA Finals. In terms of the Minnesota Timberwolves, doesn't really look like any changes to the major core of this team. They did add Derek Jones Jr. You got Rob Dillingham, who they obviously made the draft night trade for. This is a battle. This is going to be a big test. I think we can get oh my God. Are we really doing this in year one? I was not expecting a championship or anything close to it in year one, but I mean, I'll certainly take it. I'd rather not lose at home. Okay, we're going to lose at home. Disappointing, but now, oh shit, that actually got kind of close. Now we head back to Minnesota for hopefully a closeout game. I don't want to go to game 7, and I certainly don't want to blow a 3-1 lead. So, come on. Fellas. Oh man, they're killing me. Okay, well. Nope. Okay, it is do or die. It is game 7 back here in Philadelphia and not the start we were looking for. Oh my God, we're not doing this. Oh man. Death, taxes, and the Philadelphia 76ers choking. Okay, well, the 3-1 lead was it was there for a minute, and then it evaporated into thin air, and about as disappointing as an end you can have. I thought we were, we had a championship when we were up 3-1. But, yeah, second time in NBA history, a team's come back from being down 3-1. All right, LeBron calls it a career. Udonis Haslem has retired a long time ago. Kyle Lowry, Al Horford went back to the Hawks. That's funny. All right, this is a disappointing end to the season. I think there is, still some work we can do, but... yeah, man, I'm sad. Don't the Clippers also have, some 76ers draft picks? I'm pretty sure they do. Well, it says we have one from Toronto right there. I'm sure that's protected. Actually, it's not. Let me double check that. I don't know if we're actually supposed to have it. I think Nick Nurse is a good head coach, so we're going to keep him. But as of now, with the way things stand, we do have the 6th overall pick. I want to make sure we actually have that before I go ahead and just use it. I checked the Fanspo page, which is the page I always use in terms of, draft picks and protections and future, all that stuff. There is not a single word about a 2025 draft pick from the Toronto Raptors heading in the direction of the Philadelphia 76ers. There's nothing about a 2025 draft pick at all, actually, on this page in terms of incoming. There's an outgoing draft pick from the 76ers. As I'm sure you saw, we actually don't have our first round pick this year, and that's accurate. But there's no reason we were supposed to have the Raptors pick. I also checked the Raptors Fanspo page. It says their 2025 pick. They just own it. There's nothing on it. So we're not supposed to have that, long story short. So I'm not going to take advantage of 2K's stupidity, even though it would be very nice to have the 6th overall pick. All right, so we do not have a first-round pick this year, which is totally fine by me. Again, it felt like, it would have been great to have that asset in terms of, a major trade or something, but we're going to skip over it. It's fine. So Kelly Oubre Jr. declines. Bona's going to come back here. I would certainly like to retain Kelly Oubre Jr. Ricky Council will enter restricted free agency again. And this is a free agency class that is relatively talented. Unfortunately, we just don't really have any money. So can I get Oubre back? The game will let me re-sign Kelly Oubre, which is nice. I would have been relatively screwed if I couldn't retain him. So excited to bring him back on a 3-year deal. Now it is time for a trade or two. Obi Toppin would be a really nice addition to this team. He'd be a slight upgrade over Caleb Martin. Actually, well, maybe more than a slight upgrade. But you understand my point nonetheless. He's an 82 overall on a beautiful 3-year, $45 million contract. And he'd be a nice upgrade in this lineup. So we're offering up Caleb Martin and Chris Dunn to the Indiana Pacers. Both fine players. Both did their jobs for us last year. But if we want to really compete for a championship, as funny as that sounds, considering we were just up 3-1, we got to maybe move some more assets. So I'd like to get this done with just seconds. I don't have a ton of... Okay, thank you. Well, welcome to the team, Obi Toppin. It felt like that was the kind of player we were really kind of able to get. You know, we weren't going to be out there, you know, trying to trade for, you know, a Pascal Siakam type player, anybody like that. But I think Obi Toppin makes a lot of sense with this group. And then now moving forward, it's just about kind of minor upgrades to the bench. We still need to find some new backcourt members. And I think Kendrick Williams may be on his way out. Just want to look for slight marginal improvements around the edges. I don't want draft picks. Could get Haywood Highsmith. 2 years younger. We tried to sign him last year in free agency. Ultimately was not happening. And I think that actually makes a little sense for me. Because I think we're getting a draft pick in that as well, aren't we? Yeah, thank you very much, Miami Heat. Okay, that's a good deal for us. Excited to have Highsmith here. Probably going to hang on to Paul Reed unless there's a deal that's just too good to pass up on. But as of now, it's just about, again, improving this backcourt. Ooh. Karis LeVert, this is somebody who would move me in terms of, you know, a 6th, 7th man, something like that. And then the backup point guard spot's not going to be great no matter which way you kind of spin it. So, oh boy. Oh, Gabe Vincent. We're just signing away and trading for all the Miami Heat players right now. Okay, Gabe Vincent, not my first option, certainly, but he's going to have to do for now. It's just we're kind of stuck. So I'll see you guys at the start of year 2. I completely forgot about Ricky Council. He had a qualifying offer which he accepted, and ultimately he's not going to be in the rotation, so I'm including him in a trade with Gabe Vincent. Nobody's ever accused me of doing realistic rebuilds. Why would I ever start now? It's a deal with the Atlanta Hawks. We're just going to get a little bit younger, 1 overall better at the backup point guard spot with Kobe Buffkin. I'm not going to take complete advantage of this game, so I will not take the draft pick, but I am going to certainly accept a trade for Kobe Buffkin. So he's now going to be my new backup point guard. I hope you're all fine with that. Last season, we won 56 games. We were the first seed in the Eastern Conference. We ran all the way to the NBA Finals to take a 3-1 lead and then, of course, choked it away like the 76ers always do. It was disappointing. I'm not going to sit here and pretend that it wasn't, but we are coming back a little bit stronger, a little bit of an improved bench, an improved starting 5, and I think this team can be very dangerous once again. It is Tyrese Maxey, Jared McCain, Paul George, Obi Toppin, again, a very welcome addition to this group, and then Joel Embiid. Bench unit, Kelly Oubre Jr. remains a 6th man. We were very lucky to be able to sign Karis LeVert in free agency. I think he's a great upgrade to this team. Still got Paul Reed here, Haywood Highsmith, and then Kobe Buffkin, who we just traded for. So an improved bench unit is certainly something I was looking for. It is something we've now done, and I really do think this team could be dangerous once again. So hopefully we just don't choke again. I will see you guys at the end of year number 2. Another MVP for Luka Doncic, but more importantly, we finished with a record of 60-22. It is a 4-game improvement from last year, and hopefully we are going to have an even better postseason than last year. Cooper Flagg is a member of the Oklahoma City Thunder. Oh, good. Just get. Oh my God. Okay. Please don't let me run into these fucking demons in the NBA Finals. Wemby's your depoy. Matas Buzelos, most improved. Anthony Edwards, clutch player of the year. Jason Kidd, coach of the year once again. Yeah, I don't really want to get into the Thunder right now and all the flexibility and draft picks and other assets they have because it's just going to piss me off. How are they a 53-win team? Honestly, I don't know. All right, let's get into the numbers a little bit, see how everybody played throughout the regular season. Scoring was a little bit more spread out. Embiid, Maxey, Paul George. You got Jared McCain taking another step. Kelly Oubre, Obi Toppin, LeVert, Reed, Buffkin, and then Highsmith. Rebounds per game led by Embiid, and assists was Jared McCain. We are the 1 seed once again. Our first-round matchup is now the Orlando Magic, who are certainly going to be an interesting kind of first-round matchup. I love the moves. I love the KCP signing. I think he's going to be a really, really good piece of this team. I think they need a little bit more offense, but that defense 1 through 5 is scary. I don't know why you let Jalen Suggs walk. That was not a smart idea. All right, here goes nothing in the first round. Quick 2-0 lead for us. We go up 3-0. We close them out in a sweep. Now moving on to the Cavs, one of 2K's babies. I'm sure you're all very much familiar with this. They have moved on from Evan Mobley. They've replaced him with Jonathan Kuminga. I like the Corey Kispert addition. You got Jalen Tyson, Kelly Olynyk, Craig Porter Jr. Okay, interesting. talented group. I think we're better, and clearly we're better. All right, New York Knicks once again. DeMar DeRozan now here. Clint Capella. This is not my favorite spacing in the world, but it'll have to do. Okay, Eastern Conference Finals. We have yet to lose a game here in the East playoffs. So, okay, now we lose a game. Not doing this with you today, 2K. Are we trying to piss me off on a Monday morning before 8:30? Because that's not what I'm looking for right now. Okay. Okay, this game's testing me today, obviously. 3-1 lead in the finals, year one. 3-0 lead in the conference finals in year two. Neither of the series we won. It is time for something drastic. I was not planning on making a drastic move because I think this team has a lot of talent. I was just really trying to clean up around the edges. But ultimately, that has not worked so far, right? I mean, this is just a team full of chokers, and it appears it is always going to be. I am annoyed now. Let's sim through this. We have no picks. Oh, no, we have 13th overall pick from the Clippers. That pick I do believe we actually have. I'm not going to sit here and tell you that I'm not happy with the job that Nick Nurse has done. You know, not when Steve Kerr's sitting here. You see Mike Malone down there, Quinn Snyder even. I'm moving on. I'm going to give a max coaching contract to Steve Kerr. I'm going to do the same thing to Mike Malone. And again, I think Nick Nurse is a good head coach. I'm not saying it's his fault that we're in this position, but I have to make some sort of change, right? I have to do that. Steve Kerr's willing to come over to Philadelphia. I'm certainly going to be okay with that. Let's head up to the draft. Let's head up to the draft where we do have the 13th overall pick. It's not an elite draft pick, but it's certainly not nothing. My plan right now is to draft somebody there. Are they going to play for us? Probably not, but they're going to be either a trade asset or maybe they'll just chill. Drake Powell. Sure. Why the hell not? Welcome to Philadelphia. Okay, he's a 76 overall. Certainly nice. Embiid declines his player option. McCain and Buffkin both coming back. And certainly priority number one is retaining Joel Embiid. But other than that, I see Paul Reed. I see Haywood Highsmith. Embiid has one real offer. It's from the Magic for 226 over 4. God damn. What is that in terms of math? That's about $56.5 million annually in terms of AAV. Okay, I just have to, let's just make sure. I can't lose Joel Embiid, right? I mean, this video's over if I do that. Paul Reed, we're going to retain, and then Haywood Highsmith as well. Again, this is when we're going to kind of really kick it up a notch in terms of, oh, Matisse Thybulle was here? Or I guess back. This is when we're really going to kick it up a notch in terms of the unrealistic part. So if you absolutely hate unrealistic rebuilds, not that you probably haven't realized this is unrealistic so far, now would be the time that I recommend you turn this off. So let's get into some trades. In no way, shape, or form am I saying that the blown 3-0 and the blown 3-1 lead were the fault of Jared McCain. But ultimately, if we're looking for a significant upgrade in the starting five, it is going to be at the shooting guard spot. And I think Amen Thompson, who's already an 86 overall, would be that. He provides a little bit more size, a little bit more defense. The offensive numbers may not quite be there yet, but with the way this team's constructed, we don't really need a lot of offense. So we're going to attempt to make a deal here. I have some draft assets that, okay, that's it. I feel like I kind of just got away with murder a little bit. I'm super excited to have Amen Thompson here. It is a significant upgrade in this rotation. Now it kind of comes down to, do I want to improve the backup power forward spot as well? So if I do Highsmith, 2 first-round picks, and my options are probably relatively limited in terms of, I don't really have many. I will just check once more. Let's look power forwards making like, I don't know, $5 million, which is not going to be a long list this far down the line, but I will certainly entice somebody. Who's the first player under contract? Everybody here is just a free agent. Liam McNeely. I don't really know who this is, but you know what? At least he's younger and he's a little bit of a higher overall. I mean, I can't take the draft picks with me, so... Seriously? Who the fuck is this kid? Excuse me. Thank you. Oh, my God. Jesus, I tried to trade for a white guy from Utah, and all of a sudden they want a Supermax package. Okay, we're all set. I'll see you guys at the start of the third and final regular season. We have had 2 very, very solid regular seasons. Unfortunately, you don't play for regular season championships in the NBA. Maybe you do in Philadelphia. I am not happy. I'm not happy. And I want this team to win, and I want them to win right fucking now. We're going to sim through this regular season. I'm sure we'll be a top 1 seed again, 2 seed, whatever. And I do think this team now has the talent, if they hadn't before, to win a championship. It is Tyrese Maxey, Amen Thompson, Paul George, Obi Toppin, and Joel Embiid. Bench unit is elite. Kelly Oubre Jr., again, I don't know who Liam McNeely is, but it was like hell on earth trying to pry this boy out of Utah. You got Jared McCain here. I do feel bad. I think he was really, really good in terms of the fit in the starting lineup, but we got a little bit more size, a little bit more defense, I think, with Thompson, just in terms of a versatility standpoint. So I feel bad, but it makes sense. Paul Reed and then Kobe Buffkin. That is the team. It is clearly a talented enough team to win a championship. We just got to not choke in the clutch, which is all we've done so far. I'll see you guys at the end of year 3. A regular season for the ages. Luka is a Piston. He wins his 3rd MVP. We go 69-13, but at this point, who cares? We're trying to do one thing. We're trying to win a championship, and I have had enough. I've had enough of the choking. This team is too goddamn good to not win at least one. Let's go. LZ Harrington, your Rookie of the Year. Rob Dillingham, 6th Man of the Year. Why would this man not be starting? Come on. Chet Holmgren is your DPOY. I'm surprised to see somebody but Wemby win it. Dylan Harper, Most Improved. Nikola Jokic, Clutch Player of the Year. And Steve Kerr does win Coach of the Year, our first-year head coach. Obviously, the man has won some championships, both as a player and as a coach. We were 3 games up on the 66-win Pistons again. Not sure why Luka took his talents to Detroit, but he did. Here are the numbers. Tyrese Maxey actually led us in scoring. Joel Embiid, Paul George, Toppin, Thompson. Who cares? I mean, it's just... Please just let's go win. Let's just go win. 1 seed for the 3rd straight year. It is the Atlanta Hawks. Ignore the fact DeJounte Murray is still here, please. Yes, that rebuild will be out sometime this week. Okay, we quickly go up 2-0. We go up 3-0. We sweep. Good start. Now moving on to the Indiana Pacers. Halliburton, Nembhard, Mathurin, Jarris Walker, Turner, and why is LG Anunoby here? Okay, I don't really know. Let's go game by game. Again, good start. Thank you. Whew. It is now the Detroit Pistons. You saw Luka's there? Josh, okay. Okay. Yeah, I mean, they're good. I don't know if they're as good as us, right? They have the best player in the series. Don't do this. Thank you. That's what I'm fucking talking about, baby. All right, NBA Finals time. This is the team that beat us, I believe, year 1. Was it year 1? Yes, it was year 1. Okay, this team is very talented. Again, not sure why Rob Dillingham is not starting. That's neither here nor there. Good start. Okay, we've been in this position before, and we ultimately could not close it out. I don't care when. I just need it to happen. Just win the fucking basketball game, and I will be a happy camper. I can start my week off on a good note. Thank you. All I was asking for. I'll see you guys in there. 3:45 left to go here in Minnesota as we are on the verge of sweeping the Timberwolves. I think this team clearly has had the talent to win a championship for multiple seasons. I mean, you can say that's probably been true about the 76ers in real life as well. And obviously have just not been able to get it done. So what we'll do right now is we'll talk a little bit about the Paul George to Philadelphia. He's actually not even in the game right now, which is just a little bit annoying. Okay, if this is your first time watching me in one of these videos, I'm not very good at the whole gameplay thing. The rebuild part's pretty good. The gameplay stuff, not so much. I'm taking the time. I want Paul George in. This is his fucking video. He's going to be in the game. Let's talk about the fit, right? As I kind of opened the video with, it's very rare. At least it feels like it's becoming increasingly rare that star players such as like the Paul Georges of the world, if not tier above him, tier around him, whatever you want to call it, it feels like those aren't players that just depart in free agency for nothing. It feels like it always ends up being some sort of trade, and that's just a credit to the new CBA and kind of the way things work. I mean, it's tough to clear up cap space, especially if you're a good team. Like the Detroit Pistons of the world and teams like that have money, but Paul George was never going there. So, the one team who had money that could actually be competitive, immediately was the 76ers. So it felt like it made a lot of sense from a destination perspective. I believe the report was a few weeks ago that the Sixers, weren't really interested in Paul George, and maybe once they saw the trade market of what that looked like and just their other options, they were maybe considering him a little bit more. And obviously he liked the idea of going to Philadelphia as well, even if he wanted to stay on the West Coast. So, I commend the 76ers for going for it. Obviously, it has been a bumpy kind of few years with them. The entire Embiid, years so far, I guess, if you want to call it, haven't been out of the second round of the playoffs. It's not exactly like Paul George is known for his strong playoff performances, but in terms of this free agency class, I think they got the best player available outside of, maybe LeBron James, but that was never going to happen. So I credit the 76ers. I am very excited to watch, and fucking hell, can I have a lob, please? I am very excited to watch Embiid and Paul George and Maxey. I think as long as they put the right pieces around those three, which I love the re-signing of Oubre. I think Andre Drummond's going to give you a lot of good rebounding and some backup minutes. This is a team that has a chance to be really good. Oh, that's a bad shot. But, we've seen this movie with the 76ers before. They've had really good regular seasons, and ultimately, they just haven't been able to get it done in the playoffs. So, I really hope, Joel Embiid can stay healthy. I hope Paul George can stay healthy. They both have their fair share of injuries in the history and all that stuff. But, if healthy, I think this could be a group that finally gets out of the second round. So, I'm excited to watch it. I don't know if they're beating my Celtics. I'm just going to put that out there. But, this is a talented team. And this is a team that, timeline-wise, made the most sense for Paul George. The man's 34 years old. He has yet to win a ring, obviously. Joel Embiid is 30 or whatever the hell, and he is yet to even be out of the second round. So, very excited nonetheless. I think this is going to be a very fun team to watch, and I'm excited, man. I love the NBA offseason. I love free agency. I love the trades. I love it all so much. So we'll do one final possession here. Let's actually get the ball over to PG. His damn video. It's just blow by McDaniels. Gonna go up. Can't get it to go. All right, whatever. Ooh, I thought I was getting some cookies there. Good night. At long last, the Philadelphia 76ers are NBA champions. Joel Embiid is your finals MVP. We thought we had at least, or we thought we had multiple championships in this video. Unfortunately, was obviously not the case. No, this one was fun. I very much enjoyed this. I think we went about this in an interesting way because my original plan, as I've talked about a few times now, was to really, just keep the big three and kind of clean up some pieces around the edges. Obi Toppins of the world, Kelly Oubre, all those guys. Like, I didn't want to trade for another star or, another high overall like Amen Thompson is, but had to. We were choking too much. So, no, this team was fun. This was a good rebuild. I very much enjoyed it. Congratulations, 76ers fans. I look forward to our battles next year between my Celtics and your Sixers. So, let me know any other video ideas down below in the comment section. Obviously, we have 5-year prospect rebuilds to do. We're going to have other free agency rebuilds to do. So, we're very busy now, which is very different than where we were at 2 weeks ago when it was about as dead as you can be. So, very much looking forward to these next few weeks. I hope you guys are as well. As always, thanks so much for watching. I love you guys. I'll catch you guys all in the next one.